Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites. I share new videos every week, usually on Tuesdays at noon. I also share my own personal planning here along with a lot of planner reviews. Today's video is going to be along the lines of my own personal planning. We're going to do just a fun flip through of all the Hobonichis that I've ever used and how I've used them. And then we're going to flip through my new Hobonichi Han Cousin, which was a gift from my friend Tara. We did an unboxing video over here, and then I'll post that down below. I'll put the link down below as well as I will link my entire Hobonichi playlist. But after that unboxing video, she gifted me this Han, even though I tried to resist. She insisted, and it's absolutely beautiful. The kitty cats, the texture, the colors. And this is a more personal video. It is going to be one that I don't go through and edit every little bit. So it's going to be more conversational. I just want to put that out there at the beginning. And let's first walk through the new Hobonichi Cousin Han and kind of compare it to the most recent old cousin I have is a 2019. But you guys know the paper has changed since then. Also, they have since then made an English version in the cousin. And the colors seem brighter in here. We'll talk about that. There kind of seems a difference. Tara and I were talking about that on camera. And now I'm trying to see, maybe it was just my super old one, the 18, because we weren't looking in the 19. And maybe that was the 18. So we'll go through. We're going to compare and see what we think, just for fun. But we'll first just walk through the new Hobonichi Cousin in case you haven't seen it. And then we'll flip through all my old Hobonichis very quickly and see what I used them for, because they all are in other videos. So if you want to see them more extensively, you can pop down there to my Hobonichi playlist. Also, I just thought I would bring in and share a bit at the end of this video. I have videos on each of these. The Take a Note planner is a Taiwanese planner, but I say it's very similar to Hobonichi in a lot of aspects. But the paper is thicker. That's an interesting one to look at if you have never seen Take a Note, where you get a half a page per day. And then, I should have looked up how to say this name before this video, because I haven't even mentioned this book or looked in it in so long. But the JIBUN, I know I'm not going to be saying that right, because like I said, I haven't even watched any videos or looked in this book in so long. But I just wanted to let you know that I do have a video on this one, which I kind of put this in the same category with Hobonichi also, but a lot thicker paper. And obviously completely different offerings from this company. But I do have videos on both of those if you want to check out Take a Note, or what's the official name of this one? You guys, I don't even know. I think this is the Biz from JIBUN. I think it's the Biz. I cannot remember. Like I said, it's been a really long time since I reviewed this, but all that information will be in the review video, and I will link that down below. You guys might also notice I'm having more of a morning voice than normal, because I try not to record my videos in the morning, but I am recording this one. I've been up for just, I don't know, a couple hours, maybe 2, maybe 3, but I tried to not record that early because I usually do have a morning voice. But we're just going to work with it because it's one I needed to record today. So let's look through the Cousin. All right, the 2024 Han Cousin. Han just means it's a hardcover, you guys. So now Hobonichi, instead of only offering this really thick cardstock cover, which actually holds up amazing, honestly, because I've had this book since 2018. I've used it for all types of things that whole year, but then I pulled it out. I pull it out all the time if I want to retest, you know, just the Hobonichi layout like I just did recently right here. You know, it's really nice. If you have ever wanted to try Hobonichi, I say just jump in there and try it, because it is nice to have a book to refer back to every time you get an inkling, you see videos or people using it and you think, would that work for me? It's really nice to have a book to jump back into that you can test out. So they used to only make the Cousin with this really thick cardstock cover. Now they make it with hardcovers. Of course, they cost more. You can order these from the Hobonichi 1101 store, which is where I've ordered from them once, and Tara did her order from them that we just unboxed here a couple weeks ago. And that's where this came from. It's fun to order from the store at least once, I think, because you get the free pin, which I will have to go grab. So when you order from the Hobonichi 1101 store every year at launch time, they design a different free pin. Like this was the year that I ordered in 2019 from the store. So they just change up the colors, but it is the same pin. It's a Uniball Jetstream, I believe is the name of it. And I will link this down below if I can find it on JETPENS, because the only way to get the Hobonichi one is to order from their store. But of course, Uniball makes this pen available in other places. I'm just not sure it's on Amazon, but I know JETPENS has them and has the refills, which I have bought before. Because I have used this pen a lot before in different planners in the past. It writes very thin. I believe they have it labeled as a 0.5, but it really writes like a 0.38. I think I was already making a pen test page somewhere in here. Yes, I did. It really writes more like a 0.38. Did I test this one even? Let's see. Yeah. It's very nice to write on this paper with, other than it leaves a lot of indentions, hence why you might want to use a pencil board, because it writes very thin. You don't have to wait for any drying. There is no smearing. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorite pens to write on Hobonichi paper with. I will admit, I mean, I haven't been in a Hobonichi like using it for quite a number of years, but I pull it out all the time. And this one, I think I wrote in the entire year in this pen in here, which you can switch from blue, red, black. This was my content planner for this year of 2019, this little weeks. And it was a spring start. And I used this entire thing for my content planning. It is fun when you have a whole year in a planner and you can flip back, even though it's not my personal planning in here and it was just content planning. Maybe I stopped in September and then went in and out a little bit. Or maybe I just had that week off. I was trying it out for some different things. Yeah, it looks like I skipped a whole month or so in here. And then I came back. So we already did our flip of this week's of what I used it for. This is when I started using it for more. I was testing it for personal planning, I can tell. At the end of December, like big events and then your weekly list. It is a really nice tiny weekly, the Hobonichi Weeks. I have whole videos on them. You cannot find a tinier planner to fit in your purse or take with you that could hold more information. If you're new to Hobonichi, the magic of Hobonichi is that their paper is this really thin. People compare it to Bible-like paper, and it does crinkle like that. Tomio River paper. And I should have looked up how to pronounce that word once again, because I always forget. I don't know why that word will not stick in my head. With the job I have, I really should just like say that word every day and make it stick in my head. I will look it up after this video, the pronunciation. But you can see how crinkly and wrinkled these pages get when you write with something like a ballpoint pen on them that leaves indentions. And then when you don't use a pencil board consistently. I think I might have used it in parts of here, but not consistently. So it just, you have to be okay with crinkling. You have to be okay with show through if you are using any of the Hobonichi planners. So that is how I used my 2019 weeks. We already covered that now. Let's go through the HON. These stickers are from, this one is from Moxie Life. This one is from my friend Jessica, who I did a little fundraiser for her nonprofit. She does just amazing work. She feeds the homeless in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah, every single week, a hot meal that she makes, over 100 hot meals. Then she also recruits people to make them a bagged lunch meal for later. And she gets companies to donate treats like crumble cookies and such, and brings them anything she can, and does really special things for Christmas. And she really makes real friends with them, and they trust her. Her story is beautiful. I did a live with her on my Instagram when I was doing the fundraiser for her. That was just a beautiful thing to be able to do. Her Instagram is Be A Little Too Kind. That is her nonprofit. That's the name of her nonprofit too. Be A Little Too Kind. So you can find her on Instagram. You can find my chat with her. Our live is saved on my feed over on my Instagram if you're interested in finding out about her or that nonprofit. So let's walk through. Let's get to this, you guys. I always get very chatty when I have a personal video. You know, I feel like I have free reign to talk about whatever I want. I'm not just reviewing a planner and going through the specs. Let's move this here. First, you have your look at the year we're going to be in, 2024, and then you have last year, 2023, and next year, 2025. That is a really nice overview. And I do want to state that with the normal Cousin, a pencil board does not come with it, but they're very cheap. You can buy them off the Hobonichi site, or JETPENS is a site that sells a lot of Hobonichi items in the US so that you're not paying shipping from Japan. But this Han comes with this special pencil board that actually has a pen holder. Although this pen will not fit in it, it's like a pen holder that you're going to have to slip your pen through like that. But I think it works great still as a pen holder if you want to stick this in your planner, be able to have a pen with you and not have a case. I actually think it's a really smart idea that they stuck a pen holder on there, and I love this pencil board. So if you are buying from Hobonichi, I would recommend getting a pencil board in every size because, you know, they have them to fit the weeks. They have them to fit the A6 Techos. So definitely what that does, if you don't know, is it helps you have a hard writing surface behind your page. And then you're not indenting on all the pages behind you when you're using your pen. So because this paper is that, you know, like Bible-like paper, you get a little push in, and as it crinkles, even more push in, and this gives you the hard surface to write on. So that's what that is for. Let me make sure we're all in here. The magic of the Cousin is it holds everything for your entire year. You have your monthlies, you have your weeklies in a vertical layout, and then you have a page for every day of the year. That is the magic. How can it fit in this small of a book? Is because of the Tomio River paper, which they have changed. I think this year is their first year with the new paper, and it's not even in all their books, but it is in the Cousin. I know that. I'm not a Hobonichi expert. You have to go to other people for that. I do have a good friend that is all about Hobonichi, TAYLOREDPLAN at TAYLOREDPLAN. I will link her YouTube channel down below. She is a bright light and she knows everything about Hobonichi if you have questions, because she is a long time Hobonichi user. You have this whole year at a glance up front, where in 2 pages, you could write, you know, a gratitude a day. You could track something every day. But it's also just your calendar events. If you want to see the whole year at once and map out your school year, map out your vacations, you have 3 slots at the top of each month and then a little summary place at the bottom. People use this for so many creative things, you guys. I don't even remember what or if I have used mine, to be completely honest. Okay, this one I was just putting kind of big events. Like, it is nice to see the school year mapped out like that. Like, what days don't you have school? What days do you have big events on? Put your vacation. And that's how I did, like, looking ahead. And then as it went on, I think I would write things for the month. Yeah, as the month went on. So as like a memory keeper on the back end. And I do like looking back on this now. Like, it's reminding me of just, you know what? I think I'm going to use mine this way. So I'm not sure the way I'm going to use this Cousin the next year, the one that Tara gifted me. But I think it's going to be something for just memory keeping. And probably something that I don't really show. Because it's really nice when you share everything on YouTube and Instagram to have a planner. I mean, of course, I have journals I don't show or share. But it's really nice to have a planner that you keep track of things in, or you write gratitudes or personal things that happened on that day that you just know you're never going to share. And so you don't have to worry about what you're writing. Although most of the time it's not private things that you wouldn't want, but it's just like sometimes you just want to keep things to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I just wrote things like UIL on this day, fish out. Oh, we got mulch and went to Sonic. Just, wow, this was way, way back in 2018. You guys, 5 years ago, my kids were so much younger. Back then, my oldest was 15 and my youngest was 10. And now they're 15 and 20. Life changes a lot. I love the idea of just writing something that you did that day or something to remember that day by. I love that little grid in the front. Oh, let's look at the colors change from 2018 to now on that grid, if anybody's even interested. The colors look pretty much same. Saturdays are always blue. Sundays are red. And then the Japanese holidays were in the kind of lighter pink, I believe is how they always did that on here. But we don't have the Japanese holidays now because this is an English version. So actually that's really nice because it's just less cluttered with things that you wouldn't use. And then I did start writing just some things out on the monthly layout in a sticky note. You have your monthly layout. It's always a Monday start. You always have this little grid. I will try to look up the size of the grid and put it on the screen here, even though this is not like a review video with every spec in it. It's just, you know, it's personal, just flipping through my Hobonichi that was gifted to me. The paper does feel smoother than past years, as in a little more slick feeling. But fountain pen users love these books. I did just recently buy a PREPPY Platinum fountain pen, you know, like the beginner fountain pen. And I really liked writing with it. And now I've lost it somewhere in my house. I need to find it. Okay. So I just put some stuff on with Laurel Denise sticky notes, which by the way are sticking really well in here. Her new sticky note pads. I think they stick even better to this Hobonichi paper than a lot of other paper. And I'm not sure why. But they've stuck well to her planner for me too. I've been using them all in my content planning in the Laurel Denise planner. So you go through all your months. You have nice ample size boxes for an A5 size planner. You have notes room here, and Saturday and Sunday are still blocked and they're blue and red always at the end of the week. And then you go in straight into your weekly layouts. They do give you a couple months ahead into 2025 though. It's always crazy when we look ahead and think ahead to those years when I'm looking through planners. So this is 2025. I like how they have it mapped there so you do not get confused. 2025 February, 2025 March. Then you go into your weekly layout starting in January. You have your vertical columns, time slots from 5 a.m. Well, it's a 24-hour time slot. Every half-hour line, the week that you're on circled, the number of the week of the year, and Saturday and Sunday, still blue and red, and a Monday start. If I remember correctly, yeah, these are about 1.25 inch columns. So they're not quite the 1.5 inch columns. Yeah, like 3 point. Oh, it's so hard for me to see with the mic and stuff in front of me where the line is lining because I need to have it like right under me. 3.4, I would say, centimeters. So that's your columns. It goes through that. You have all your weeks of the year just in a row. Your weeks are next. This Han does come with 2 really thin satin ribbon bookmarks for you. After all your weeks of the year, then you have turning the page to a new year. So starting out your year, and they have a little December calendar and then January 2024. And then you have January 1. This is always kind of like your dashboard page for the month, a completely blank page. And then this is what your daily page looks like. It's grid. You could use their time slots here from 4 a.m. starting up here. And it's a 24-hour time slot once again. So you could use this little space for your time appointments or time blocking if you wanted to, or you can just use it right all the way across. You guys know so many people do creative journaling and beautiful things. Washi tape, stickers, pictures go so well on this paper. You do have 5 boxes at the top if you want like top 5 things or items, or if you want to put your weather or work schedule up there or workout. That's a nice little kind of boxed off place to put that up there every day. And then the quotes are in English once again, which I've never gone through to read them, but many people I've heard say, people told me that sometimes the translation is a little bit weird. It doesn't translate exactly right. So the quotes may not be so amazing. I personally would love it to just be blank down here. And you could just use washi tape and not have to worry about if the washi tape's covering the whole thing, or just have it blank for anything that you want to do. But they put a calendar, they circle the day that you are on, so you always have that there. I would imagine that's really handy for some people's jobs. And on a 2-page spread, they're circling the 2 days that you're on right there at a glance. So it's not on each day, it's just on the right side of the page. I do think if you're this is really helpful to glance at without flipping somewhere else if you really want to see where you are in the month. You have, that's the way it goes. Every month is a different color. January is red. Let's look in my Avec, which is a 2019, and see how these colors compare. And then we'll just flip through all my old books really quickly. I was definitely doing a lot of highlighter testing in there. And I think they have kept their colors consistent over the years. But you can see, I do feel like it's a little more vibrant of a red. I do. I feel like let's find a Sunday so we can compare. You can see they've made this box bigger. You do have your moon phases. So I do feel like though that the color is a little brighter. It's a little more vibrant. I do like how it's bigger. I like that. I do like how they wrote January instead of just 1. I just like it in my mind. I don't know. So I like those changes personally. You have their little grid here. The grid is bigger in the A6 TECHO, which is like just a page a day daily planner. Like I said, I have those grid sizes written down somewhere, and they're in all my other Hobonichi videos when I really went through them, but I will write those grid sizes up here if I can find them for you guys. Although I wasn't going to do a big editing of this. So I will probably put those down look for them down in the description. That way I don't have to find certain spots in the video and because I don't plan to do a big editing of this one. So yeah, look for all that Hobonichi links, information, grid sizes down in the description. But these do have a bigger grid size, which is better for my handwriting. I used this A6 TECHO for quotes, and I would share them all in posts here on Instagram way back when, whatever year this was. What year was it? 2018. So I should probably just take pictures on the day we're on and share them in stories. That would be fun, I think. Ooh, and we're coming up on September. I turned to the right spot. We'll go through the TECHO really quickly next, but here we go. Let's just look through the monthly colors. Just know they're all a little bit more vibrant than the years past. January is a red. February is a brown. You guys know me. I love a different color per month, but of course I would rather it flow with the seasons and be brighter and be happier colors. But this is the way Hobonichi is. And it's like, you just don't question it because you know they're not going to change. March is purple. Is that the same? I just want to make sure. Yeah, it looks like. Yep. Because you can see on the side, you can see as the months change. It makes it easy to flip. March is purple. Yep. Let's look at that. I don't think I have a March page unused in here. But we'll go to like a Sunday so we can see the saturation. It's definitely a little bit more vibrant. It is. You can see all the ghosting on these pages. You have to be okay with that in Hobonichi. Like I said, with the crinkly pages, especially if you use a ballpoint pen and if you don't use a pencil board behind it, and with all the ghosting. So you're never going to really turn to the next new page and feel like it's completely open and clean. But the magic of this paper is nothing bleeds through. That's why fountain pen users love it, because their pens just glide. Nothing bleeds through. You can use a lot of different mediums on here. And yes, you have all the ghosting, but no bleed through. So you can see that's a little pen test. Okay. March is purple. I love that one. April is a pinkish red to me. I think that's beautiful. May is an olive green. I love green, but it's not too drab, but forest green. I love forest green is June. July, I like that. Aqua, a beautiful, or just a blue. Maybe it's not quite aqua. August is a darker blue, like closer to a dark royal navy mix. September is a really, really dark red, like I would say a brownish red. October is a more vibrant purple. And then November is a very vibrant green. Love it. Love the vibrant colors. And December is a vibrant red. So that is the flow of your cousin. At the end, you have a few notes pages, like 2, 4, 5 notes pages. Then you go into some really interesting pages they give you. Just, do you want to plan out your week? It says write a reoccurring hourly schedule for each day of the week. This is useful for a variety of things, such as filling in the broadcast times of favorite television shows or splitting up house chores. So you have a timetable. This page is convenient for recording your daily weight or other ongoing changes when you have a certain target in mind. The extra space at the bottom is for additional notes. So they've just drawn out, like, if you want to graph out something. You have a favorites page for favorite music, restaurants, books, like theater, movies. So I think that's kind of fun if I would actually remember for the year to come back here. And when we do something to record it, that would be a really nice memory keeper for the year. Maybe since I'm going to try to use this as a memory keeper next year, maybe I will actually remember that. That would be awesome. I do think I'm going to drop every gratitude journal or memory keeper I'm doing, except for I do still have 1 year left in my second 5-year journal. But other than that, I think I will just try to use this, because if I try to do too many like personal journaling things, you know, some end up getting dropped. So I will have to drop like other things I'm using right now for this year, gratitude journals and stuff. My 100, make a list of 100 entries for anything you want. Things to accomplish this year, books you've read, movies you've seen, snacks you've tried, shops you want to visit. It's up to you. I like that too. Like if you're using this as a memory keeper, I think this would be really fun to keep track of. Mine would probably be all a mix of things. I might just write down every time a really good memory happens. And that's usually around, you know, something with my family, or if I ate something really good or had an amazing sunset on a walk. I mean, that would fill up way before the end of the year, but I would try to not write everything down. You know, just, it would be like 100 good memories. I like that. An interview with myself. This is interesting. This is a section for thinking about you. Fill in the answers and read them over again. Read them over again once in a while, and maybe you'll discover something new about yourself. The one thing I'm determined to do in 2024, the one thing I won't do this year is, this part of me deserves praise. I am happiest when. My favorite thing to have for lunch is. The one person I most want to meet. My song for this year. A new word I learned recently. So I would fill this out at the beginning of the year. That's interesting. Seasonal sweets to make at home. So here are some recipes for you. Caring for your eyes, good daily habits to care for your eyes. Wow, that is really interesting. I do think with all our cell phone usage. And check your vision. Wow, that's interesting. Stare at the dot in the center of the image left from a distant. In the center of the image at the left from a distance of about 30 centimeters and check how the grid appears to you. Try to do this about once a month. And if you see it blurred, distorted, or black spots, you may have a problem with your eyes. Consult with an eye specialist. Words to remember. Write down memorable phrases you encounter throughout the year that you don't want to forget. I like that. And I know some people might not use any of these. I never have in the past, but if I'm trying to use this as a memory keeper, it would be really fun to try to track these things. 365-day checkoff sheet. Well, you guys know I love to keep my yearly habit trackers, but I have to keep them like with my study basket, with my morning stuff, where I fill it all out from the day before or that morning, depending on what the task is. So I know I wouldn't remember to come here like every day for one of those habits. Maybe I just need to think of something fun to track and, you know, and mark off every night when I'm writing in here. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Getting the most out of your Hobonichi TECHO. So they're just giving you some tips, advice, information. And we're almost done, you guys. Gifts to keep track of, to and from, items, notes, addresses. I put my name, personal notes there. And that's the end. Every Hobonichi is marked with its own like personal number, which just feels kind of special and good. So this is an awesome gift from Tara, because if I keep up with this, it's going to be a really cool keepsake at the end of the year, especially just with having the beautiful cover and everything. She does have a plastic cover that goes over this that she has not given to me yet because we forgot to get it that day. And I will probably use it to protect it. You know what? I used to think that the plastic covers would feel bad in hand, but actually we tried one on Tara's books when we were going through that video unboxing, and I don't think it felt bad. Like, and I think it's nice to protect your book, since I'm not like really super careful with my stuff. So I think I will definitely use that. You know what? My Hobonichi cloth cover is one of the very favorite things I've ever bought from the Hobonichi store. So I need to go grab that. So I do have to share this. This is the only cover, the one year I ordered from the Hobonichi store, that I got. I love it. I love forest green and yellow. I did used to have the plastic cover on this one. That's what made me think of it though. And the plastic cover that went over this one felt like the corners were a little pokey to me. It just didn't feel good in hand, like having just the material cover. So since I don't take it in and out of the house, that's why I took the plastic cover off this one. If you're having it on a surface where there's like friction, like on this board, I can see why you might want the plastic cover, because it won't slide. Like this material literally grabs this linen material and it won't slide around. So I can also see a use for that other than protecting it. I love this cover. If I ever order again from the Hobonichi store, I'm definitely going to pick out another cover if they have one I love that year, because it functions with any A5 book, you guys. This is my Stalogy prayer journal that I've been using for several years, because I'm not really using it daily right now. I used it daily for a year. That was my goal. And then I'm not using it daily right now. So it's taking me a long time to fill up the very, very ends because I didn't always use a full page per day. But this is my Stalogy. Stalogy is a magical book, if you don't know. It's in my notebooks video here on my channel. I will link the 2 big notebooks video that I have. I love this book because it's Hobonichi-like paper, but a little bit thicker and a bigger grid. And it's a completely undated notebook with a really light grid off Amazon for like 20 bucks. So affordable and can come in 365 pages for a year or a half year. I love these Stalogy notebooks. So this is just an A5, like I said. And I have had it in here in my morning basket. I have my prayer journal in it. I love it because it holds any A5 book well, has an extra pocket back here, and I love the huge pen loops because you can practically fit 2 smaller pens in it or just 1 large pen like theirs. Of course, it's made for you to keep the book shut with, but I never carry mine around, but that's ingenious, and it does keep your book shut if you put your pen through it like that. But also when I've used it for planning and stuff with my Hobonichis, I have put like 2 mild liners on this side. Let's see, I have 2 I can reach here, and they fit. They fit. 2 mild liners fit, and like I said, 2 smaller pens. So if you wanted to be able to carry around 2 smaller items, and they're not hard to get in there. I don't know why it took me a while, but 2 smaller pens or 2 highlighters, it's so nice to have them all together. If you're using this for planning or whatnot, it also comes with 2 ribbon bookmarks. So if you don't want to use them, you just tuck them in here and they never bother me. But if you want to use them, they're there and they're so nice to have. Plus all the pockets, an extra pocket here. I only put the front of my book in here, an extra pocket back here. And this is like the wipeable. I love this cover, you guys. It is honestly one of my favorite planner journaling supplies that I have ever bought. And I bought it on a whim. I had no idea how much I was going to love it. Isn't that usually how things are in life? Whether they're clothes or journals or planners. Like usually our favorite things end up being things that we're like, we didn't know when buying them, they were going to end up being a treasure to us. So I love this cover. If you're purchasing from the Hobonichi store, I can't recommend enough picking out like an A5 cover you love because any A5 book can go in it, right? Not just the Cousin. You can have a Stalogy. You can have a Leuchtturm. You can have any A5 planner will practically fit in here. Maybe not if it has a super thick cover on it. So now you're going to ask me to test this one in here. And I definitely don't want to stretch this out as in, but it works. No, it totally works. It works with the Han and with the thicker cover. I know they would be making them to fit the Han now, but this was made years ago before they ever had the Han. So it's, you guys, I love this cover. If you're shopping the Hobonichi store, definitely pick out a cover. You can see mine has some stuff on it, but like I said, I do have the plastic cover, but I like the way that it feels without. And the usage just, to me, makes it more special. It feels good in hand. I'm probably going to have this thing till the day I die. Okay, we shall move on. You guys, I love these personal videos so much where I don't have to prepare really, and I just get to chat. They are so fun, and all the pressure is off because I don't need to have the correct specs and try to deliver the right information in the right amount of time. And I really need to do more videos like this if you guys enjoy them, because I really enjoy them, and it's really good for me to have a break from planner reviews. I'm filming this right at the tail end of launch season because I'm going to take, like 2 weeks off when Pierce comes home. So I wanted to have this already filmed and ready at least to edit for that week after he comes home. I'm still heavy in launch season. I still have my last launch video to edit. I still have power sheets left to edit. And I have just been inundated with launch video after launch video for the last like 6 weeks, and even 1 week with 2 of those with Moxie Life and She Plans. So it's been a very overwhelming launch season for me. Also getting a new phone in the middle of it, preparing for Pierce to come home. Hobonichi Avec 2019. I use this one for quotes. Avec just means it's the same wire. So here's the Avec Cousin. These are the Avec TECHO A6 size. It's just your year divided into 2 books. So they do it for the TECHO A6 and they do it for the Cousin. They divide your year into 2 books instead of 1. It's just people who want to have a thinner book to carry with them or for different reasons. or a whole new book to start in, you know, at that time of year. But these little techos I've already showed you are just, if you get the English version, then it is all in black, at least to my knowledge, unless they've changed that. And you only have monthly spreads at the beginning and daily pages. And this is the English version. And I have a whole video walking you through this, so I'm not going to do a walkthrough here of it, but I will link my playlist down below. And I just mainly wrote quotes in here. Although I did play with it in the beginning for planning, possible journaling. I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for. But then I ended up only writing quotes mainly on the right side of it, but here were some days I used it for daily planning. It's a cute, tiny little daily planner. If you only need this much room for a list and you only need a monthly layout, it's genius because this will fit in any purse or bag. It is the most lightweight thing ever. And you have a full page per day. Sundays are red, and you have that nice grid. If you want to use a timetable, they have that here. Noon at your middle, dinner time there, quotes at the bottom, your monthly layout. So that's the Techo A6 I used for quotes. I also use this Techo Avec, some washi tape sampling there for quotes. So I use this same one, but this one was not the English version. At that time, I don't think they sold the Avec in the English version. I think they might now. This was the Japanese version, and I also use it for quotes, but you do get the different colors per month, like the Cousin in here. And then this Cousin, I used it, I used it for planning for a while. More in the first book. The second book got less used, I think. But I love having these blank pages, so whenever I want to go, if I want to try out Hobonichi again for anything, I have this to play around in. This one got a lot more used, and I can tell by the page crinkles too. I think I used most of this first book. Just weekly planning, that looks like what I used it for. I love to put washi tape on the bottom, sometimes on the top. And I just used it, yeah, for my normal weekly planner for quite a good amount of time. It's weird because I almost forgot that I did this. The thing with the Hobonichi to me for my weekly planner, I've learned it can't work for me right now because I clutter my page so much already. Opening it and seeing so much ghosting is just visually too much for me for the week. I also crave color. It's just so, you know, office-like. And this one, if I'm going to keep it for myself, I'll have to decide, am I going to put washi on some pages? Maybe I will. You know, am I going to make it pen and paper only? That's totally fine for me for journaling and memory keeping. But what I plan in every day, for some reason, I crave like seasonality in it, color, and so I just had to add washi to this. I couldn't stop myself. So yeah, I did a lot of weekly planning in here, and I used it. Did I use it for daily planning or mainly just for, looks like I was testing lots of different things. I don't think I used it for my daily list deluxe. A lot of those pages are blank, but I used some here. So as you can tell, I have spent a good amount of time in Hobonichis, but I just have learned for right now, like, I don't want all the indentions. I don't want to have to use a pencil board every day. And I don't want to start with a page that already looks, you know, a little bit very used because I'm not using a pencil board. I do love Mary Bright day-by-day calendar pictures, how they look in here though. So maybe I'll use those because I have a lot of those left from prior years in this one. Like I said, if you've ever just wanted a Hobonichi even just to play in and you're a planner person, I think it's totally worth getting it at least once. Like, because you'll always wonder. I think people either love it or they don't love it. I mean, I'm in the camp of loving it, but not for my personal planning right now. I more love it as a memory keeper, or you can write a verse per day or a poem per day. Like, I think it's a really special memory keeper type of journaling book. I mean, I also think it makes a stellar planner if you and the paper get along. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. And I would say the paper is the deciding factor as to why I can't use it as my daily planner right now. So let's look at the weeks and then we'll be done, you guys. We'll be done. This one I already shared all how I used for the entire year. It was my content planner before I needed something bigger. So this would just be my Instagram content for the day, what I planned to do or thought of. This is kind of like all my ideas for the week or what I needed to do for that week. And it worked really well. And for some reason, having all the crinkles and the ghosting in this one didn't bother me as much. As you can tell, The Weeks, Hobonichi Weeks, is a cream colored paper, whereas the Cousin is white. You need to be aware of that if you don't like cream colored paper. It's cream. It's definitely cream. It's supposed to be easier on the eyes. I will have to say, I mean, I think I do prefer white paper, but it's never bothered me enough, cream paper, to not use a product just because it had cream paper. So far, you know, I like Leuchtturms and they have cream paper, but I probably do prefer white paper. This 2018 one, I think I used for personal planning for like almost a whole year. Not as my only big planner. It was like my small planner that I could kind of like map out the weekend, just kind of like really think about it. It was kind of almost like pre-planning my week. Like what big things are coming up this week? What are on my list for the week? You know, of really important things to get done. And then I could like work off of this in like my big Erin Condren and my daily, you know, planner, whatever I was using at the time. So this was a really nice, like at the beginning of the week, just scribble it all down and see like what is actually going on this week, because it is a really nice view. I have to say I love it. Even though I'm generally in my weekly planners, my big ones, I like a vertical view, but I do like this view a lot too for a different reason. It's just so nice to look straight down. It's also make a stellar meal planner, because meals, you know, lists of what you need to get at the store. You could even put meals on sticky notes for if you need them to be flexible for the week. So I think it would make a stellar meal planner. And then at the end of each week's, you have a really good amount of notes pages, which lots of people use for daily pages. You can't have a page per day or anything, but they sell a mega weeks, and I forget, they have a whole bunch, like 3 times the size of note pages, something like that, where I think you could almost use a page per day or close. I don't know. People use those for their daily pages or journalings. And even for someone who doesn't write small, for some reason, the grid really helps you write small in here. It just does. And if you're using a pen with a small tip, like I said, this one's a 0.5, but it really feels like a 0.38. And as long as you're using a pen that's like a 0.38, I feel like you could definitely use a 0.5 too. Even someone who likes to write bigger and generally not write super slow or try to concentrate to write small, it worked for me, and I've really enjoyed my time in every single Hobonichi. This one was a gift from a friend, so I didn't buy this one this year, and it was really nice. She said she was not going to use this, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name on here, so I'm not going to say it. She was not going to use it for the year. She used the very beginning, so I don't want to show you her pages. And so I have played around in this one too, but I don't want to show you go up to where the first few pages that she used in the beginning, so I don't want to accidentally turn to there. But it was a really nice gift from a friend, and it's nice to have some blank stuff left, because I have often come in here to try out things and play around and see, do I want a weeks for this? Do I want a weeks for that? Would this work? Because these are full, chock full, like every week is used. So it's really nice to have one with some blank. And in the weeks, they have these magic little dots I didn't mention yet, which are awesome because you can barely tell they're there. But if you want to section into 3 sections, it makes it so easy to, you know, draw your line down and section this. So it could be your 3 tasks for the day. It could be, you know, workout, dinner, you know, your kids' work schedule, weather, whatever you want to do. There is a line down this side. So if you want to do something using, you know, they have a line blocking there for you to help. But of course, the grid, you can draw anywhere on the page and make any kinds of lines, charts, graphs that you need. I do not know if the weeks comes in English yet. So I know somebody's going to watch this and tell me down below. I did not get on the Hobonichi site and research any of this ahead of time, because it's just, you know, is a fun reminiscing video for me and to kind of introduce you to Hobonichi if you've not been introduced. Oh yeah, and the washi tape. For some reason, I use the beginning of the roll where it's sticky here. But look how beautiful this washi tape is from the washitapeshop.com. Oh, that's really pretty. I've given away a lot of my washi tape shop tape only because I don't consistently use it. And I just don't like to store things thinking, oh, I'll use that in 5 years. You know, that is really pretty though. And this type of washi tape looks so good in Hobonichis and on the cream paper. Look at that. The washitapeshop.com has amazing washis for really good prices, and I have an ongoing 10% off code with them. I've done several things on Instagram sharing hauls from them, and I have included them, I think, in one Planner Perfect video up here on YouTube. thewashitapeshop.com, 10% off always, Amanda's Favorites. You can use it over and over again, and I have an affiliate link. So that's all my links are down below. All right, guys, that wraps us up. I hope this was just a fun introduction to Hobonichi. Let me know all your thoughts, you guys, and please be kind to me about all the Hobonichi things I don't know and all the names I have mispronounced. All right, take care of yourself so you can take care of others, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.